So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Britain at war with America over Ireland. At war with America over Ireland and Brexit, says Gordon Brown. Sorry, I misread that earlier. The UK is at war with the United States over Ireland and Brexit, Gordon Brown has said. I wouldn't say... I'd say we are more at war with Ireland and the United States over Brexit rather than with the United States over Ireland and Brexit. Kind of taking Ireland a bit out of the equation there, in a sense. The former Prime Minister said Boris Johnson's government would never be able to sign a trade deal with the US until the issue is resolved. I don't think we're actually on the table to get a trade deal anyways, regardless. Before the protocol stuff really kicked off, they were saying that it wouldn't be until 2030 we get a potential trade deal with the Americans. So this is kind of America dangling a carrot with no intention of giving it to us, which, I kind of respect it. Many Democrats in the US Congress see themselves as the guardians of the Good Friday Agreement, which ended the Troubles, and, a lot of these politicians are old. And I mean that not in the meanest way, but some of them are real dinosaurs. They've been around for a long time. They saw, I think, probably the entirety of the Troubles, to be honest. A lot of them would have seen it from the 70s onwards. And a lot of them would have seen the Good Friday Agreement signed as well, because that wasn't that long ago. So yeah, these politicians, some of these American, Congress people and senators see America as a guardian of the Good Friday Agreement, so they're going to let it go, not without a struggle at least. They've taken a dim view of what they see as American over UK's brinkmanship over the border with the Republic, which is related to Brexit, which it's fair enough, it's true that the UK is playing games with peace in Northern Ireland. The ex-Prime Minister said that even if Joe Biden came around to a trade deal, many in the US Congress would not, which is also true. We've seen statements from Richard Neal. So, what Gordon Brown should have really said is, even if the presidency changes, there is no guarantee it will go through Congress, because some of these politicians have been around for a long time, 20, 30 years, do you know what I mean? And that's not changing anytime soon. Richard Neal, he looks like a spry guy. He'll be around for a while, unless he retires, obviously. Of course, there's no chance of getting better trade relationship with Europe unless we can sort these problems out as well, Gordon Brown said, which is also true that the TCA isn't that great a deal. It's a bare bones trade deal, really, with some extra stuff, like visas and stuff. So it's not completely bare bones. But point being is that we definitely need better relations with the EU, because the UK is struggling with exports. EU exports to the UK are fine for the most part. The worst thing they face is customs. They're not facing the physical inspections that UK exports are facing. Any kind of trade agreement that eases trade kind of barriers with the other side will benefit the UK, I think, more than it would benefit the EU. Gordon Brown says, and that's very much part of the future, because we cannot export to the leading markets in the world. The cost of living crisis will be with us for years and not just temporarily. And that's true. I've done a video talking about the fact that the UK will face hotter inflation over the next few years, purely because of the fact that the customs checks, etc., are adding cost to imports. That's going to be passed on to the consumer. That's permanent. That's not going to change anytime soon, unless we get rid of customs checks for EU goods, which would be wild. In September 2020, Joe Biden summarised US fears over the UK policy by stating, "We can't allow the Good Friday Agreement that brought peace to Northern Ireland to become a casualty of Brexit," which is true, and he's very much held on to that. He very much reminded the BBC, the BBC asked him for a statement, he said, "I'm Irish." Point being is, he's telling people not to forget it. I don't think he'll run again. 2024, things will change. God forbid it could be Kamala Harris as the candidate versus Ron DeSantis. Jesus Christ, man. I thought Starmer versus Johnson was bad, but you're going to have someone who's incredibly boring and has no real principles versus a smarter Trump. That's terrifying. But point being is that even if the presidency changes, right, Ron DeSantis becomes president, God forbid, but say if that happens, right, there's no guarantee he would get a trade deal, a US-UK trade deal through Congress. That's a big problem, because Congress is far more powerful than people think it is, in my opinion at least how British people see it. But anyways, look, I'm going to leave it there. It's pretty important what Gordon Brown is saying. I think he's kind of downplayed Ireland's. We are at war in a sense, not just with America, not with America over Ireland, but with America and Ireland over Brexit. That's my opinion. That's how I would have phrased it, because we are very much battling the Irish in a sense here, purely because they are going to be the biggest casualties of the end of the Northern Ireland Protocol. They are directly there. and there's a massive hole that's going to be put in the single market, and that's a huge problem for the EU to figure out if that does happen. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.